So if you haven't seen my video about the key features and my thoughts about what's my favorite things about WWDC 2022, I will leave a link at the card above for you to check it out. Now, one of the best moments for me was also after the keynote where we were brought into the Steve Jobs Theatre to have a hands-on with the new M2 MacBook Air. And speaking of which, I've also did an IG reel about that, so do check that out on Instagram. But I also wanted to know how are the reactions of other fellow YouTube content creators around the world about this software, especially with this brand new hardware announcement. So let's see what they have to say.
Apple's M2 chips were like fine, they were like a decent upgrade, but they weren't like as much of a jump as M1 was. One thing I really like though was the continuity camera. So it allows you to like put your phone on your MacBook and use it as a webcam. And it lets the ultra-wide camera double as a top-down view, which is kind of crazy. I haven't seen it in action yet though, so I'm not 100% sure about it. We'll see. Excited about the new hardware. I wasn't following the rumors too much, but nice to see some actual hardware devices that we can check out. You know what? I've always tried to put my iPhone as like a camera, and it's nice to see that little continuity that you can use that as like your own selfie camera, so I think that's pretty cool.
We're more hardware people, so software like isn't exactly, but they still always manage to have something that's pretty cool. Desk view with the ultra-wide camera was really cool. It felt like our top-down set a little bit. And then weirdly enough, I really like the new lock screen customizations. Being able to like portrait somebody and have the time go behind their head was just a like really cool little piece that I thought was really neat.
I think it was a pretty great event. Lots of cool new features being added. I'd say my biggest one has been the lock screen, because it's more recently that I've been feeling like, oh, I wish my lock screen could do a little bit more. And now they just read my mind, and now we've got it. So I love having pictures of my kid on my lock screen, and usually I have to find a picture that works to match, you know, the current layout of the lock screen. And now being able to change that and, you know, make special effects and widgets, all that I think is going to be absolutely game-changing for iPhone users.
Obviously, we're attracted to hardware, so that new M2 powered MacBook Air is pretty exciting. I love all the new colors, but I think I'm most excited about some of those software features. iPadOS actually acting more like a desktop computer now. There's so many features in the Apple Watch that are great for me as a runner, and macOS, there's a lot to unpack there. Need to process all of it.
Well, first of all, the event was crazy. Like, I'm very happy with the event. They released a lot of really cool features. I think one thing that for me is messages. I think messages is like the one thing that they could make the most improvements on, and they did. I really love the fact that you can delete a message or edit a message. I mean, you can't even do that on Twitter. So being able to do that in text message, I think is really cool. And I like the new iPad enhancements, being able to run multiple windows. Instead of running one, you can run up to 7 at one time now, which I think is really cool. So iPad is sort of getting there. It's really getting there to kind of where I want to see it. I think for me, the next step is Final Cut. So hopefully next year we get Final Cut, for sure.
My thoughts in the event, I thought it was super packed. Okay, like, each platform had meaningful additions. I think the, what's it called? Stage Manager for me on the Mac was exciting, but then when they showed up for the iPad as well, and they showed all the multiple windowing you could do on the iPad, that was very exciting. But I think for me it's messages. Like, let me mark a message as unread, let me fix typos that I sent to the message, let me delete messages or unsend them. That was probably my favorite thing from a personal perspective. I think the most important one was the safety features they added. Of course, like if you're in an abusive relationship or you forgot that you shared your location information with other people, you can just pull that all away. I think that's going to be very important for a lot of people out there.
I think it's good. There's a lot of iOS 16 stuff that was like, why hasn't it already been there with the messages unsending? But I wasn't blown away by the software. I think the MacBook Air is just going to be the huge thing with the M2. I don't know why anyone would need to buy a MacBook Pro 14 or 16. So I've had a bit of hands-on with it. Can't wait to test it properly. But the new Air, a little bit pricier, but very tasty. I want one.
I don't know how to speak English. I don't know. The lock screen looks good. Apart from that, the other features I don't really use. I also love how we can now use the iPhone as the webcam of our Macs. And other than that, the midnight color MacBook Air M2 is like the best thing ever. Like, I would love to have one or two. Not sure why I want two, but yeah.
very excited for the MacBook Air. It's something that I've been waiting for quite a while now. I think the new midnight color looks really good. I've always really liked everything to be like matte black, but matte black gets fingerprint, so it's nice that it has a bit of that like kind of perfect balance of like a dark and strong color. But yeah, in terms of the power, the Apple Silicon platform is one that I've been using for quite a few years now. And on top of that, of course, iOS, Mac updates are exciting as well. But I think the hardware is where I'm always really excited because we try new things and try to integrate it in the workflow. And the M1 MacBook Air has actually been a computer that I've been able to edit videos on in 4K and 6K resolution, no problem. So by bringing that to the next level with the M2 chip and still having 2 available ports as well as MagSafe, it's kind of the perfect combination.
My favorite thing is the new charger that has 2 USB-C ports. Can't get enough of it, love it. I think overall we saw a lot of hints of AR stuff, right? We saw the live text and video, we saw a bunch of Siri integrations, so you can see the software foundations for that are. And then obviously M2 Air is great. I'm very curious what they're doing with iPadOS. It's becoming more of a Mac. If you look at the windowing system and the idea, they said it was desktop class now, so it's a big challenge for Apple, keeping the Mac and the iPad and making sure the iPad isn't just a Mac light.
A lot of good announcements. My favorite is literally just using your iPhone as a webcam wirelessly. I don't know how much that little Belkin mount is going to cost, but once you get it, everything's just wirelessly, seems very seamless. And that feature with the top-down camera from ultra-wide seems cool.
Okay, tell me about the camera rig. Because we camera nerds.
This is our solo shooter V-Raptor today. So one of my favorite lenses.
Yes.
24 to 35.
I use the 18 to 35. So.
Big sensor, wide shots, first person shots, close focus, everything here. Monitor, battery.
Cool, thanks Marques.